Previously on Survivor.
So I've also been talking to Devin because he's a Ross Jr.
If we just keep it low key, that we're like this.
Oh yeah, we have to keep it low key.
Like, we don't tell anyone yet.
I don't think anyone really believes that he understands the game.
So Emily has been my #1 ally and for the whole game thus far, and I've told her essentially everything. Like, I am slowly transitioning into Brady being that person.
Yeah, but otherwise, like, I feel great. No, Aaron has the idol, and Aaron's like my #2, right? Or my #1.
Brady's got 2 votes in the jury right now. God, that's just so weird.
So here I am in my fabulous girlfriend's apartment, just really trying to enjoy existing for a minute in this game, and really celebrating Final 8. And this is how I celebrate it. Sleeping in, eating some ham sandwich, having a little bit of East Coast Yingling, my roots, getting back to them.
Both Emily P and Emily B got voted out last week, so it appears like the name Emily was cursed. It was the curse of the Emilys. Now they're all gone. We started with 3, now they're all gone. So I'm very glad I'm not named Emily.
Last week, both Emily P and Emily B were eliminated. And that was hard. That was really hard for me to deal with.
And I kind of felt bad for Will because, like, Will and Emily P actually were great allies and great friends, and, like, he had to be all unified with us. Probably couldn't, like, express how he was really feeling, whereas, like, Austin was there, like, totally bummed over this person who, like, manipulated him.
I don't know who you guys are.
So are you.
I trust you all so much.
I really appreciate it.
I want to go to the Final Four with you guys.
I don't really think I've been manipulated too much. I think if anyone's manipulated me, it's been myself. I've used my emotions have manipulated me.
You can play a hard game and just not a good game. I think that's what Emily P did.
Emily P, you were a really great friend, a really great ally. It felt terrible having to do this to you.
Emily B was like my day one girl, and like she was one of the people who I wanted to take to the end, and she was someone who I really wanted to continue working with, and someone who like was in my final plans. And so the fact that she's gone is such a big bummer.
Right now I'm kind of a sabu also. And if it wasn't that moment with the 4 of us together, with our arms around each other, that didn't really bring me in. Emily B going the very next night definitely did, because now they have a hole that needs to be filled, and that's for me.
I was happy to see Emily B go. I think she's a very nice person, but I think she's good at this game, and I think she could have done more later on down the road. It was really her or me, so, you know, glad it was her. And I didn't have to use my idol. So there's still 3 more opportunities for me to use it, 8, 7, and 6.
And then I think at the next tribal council, it's going to be 8 people. And I'm going to have 4 solid votes with the Atrium Alliance. And the issue is that Erin may or may not go with us. She has the hidden immunity idol, and what she could do is she could pretend she's working with us, and then she could use the information of who we are voting for in order to give her idol to our target, so that then she suddenly would have the majority alliance with Brady, Dylan, and Cassie, which would be a disastrous situation.
Will actually texted me the day after tribal. And he said, I hope you didn't have to use your idol. And that got me thinking, maybe I did have to use my idol. Good question. So I brought it up with Brady and I said, hey, what if we told the other side that I used my idol, so they think I don't have it? What a good idea.
I was texting with Dylan a bit, and he said, I asked him, and he said that Erin played her idol, and obviously I don't know if he's telling the truth or not.
Knock on whatever you can knock on, and hold on to your ass, and try not to piss too many people off. Happy vacation day.
2, 3, 3!
Sabu, Sabu!
Okay, so basically the way it sits right now is I am the biggest threat in this game by far. And essentially we have a challenge tonight, and if I don't win immunity, I'm not going to feel safe. Like, that's basically it. Like,
I mean, especially if Brady's at the end sitting at Final Tribal Council, I think that he'll probably get Ben's vote. He might get Emily's vote. Like, I think he'll get, Cassie and, Cassie's vote.
Very much agree with that.
We kind of realized that, Brady is a huge threat.
Everybody thinks Brady's this huge threat. I think I could really change some opinions at a final jury if I was there with Brady.
would the last two people to get you out both leave and say, oh, here's another vote for Brady?
I heard Emily P. said last night that Brady had 2 votes for him now. I'd like to say he has 3 votes for him.
Ben was the first one to vote out, who's obviously voting for me.
As far as I know, Brady hasn't really done much, because I guess maybe I haven't seen him strategize or whatever.
I'm really fucking good at challenges and shit.
Like, he's misplayed an idol.
And 3, what do you consider what I would say is one of the best, if not the best, social games in the game right now?
Like, he's on the bottom of his alliance. So, like, really, I feel like people just, like, think Brady's this huge threat because he's charismatic and strong, which is, like, the epitome of, like, male privilege, but whatever.
It's just... if I make it to the end, I win, but
I think he's, like, way overrated, in my opinion.
So I think that Will and Eliza have made big moves in the game.
I know I see Eliza as a big threat. I know people see Will as a big threat, but I don't really think he's as much of a threat as people say. I think he's kind of sporadic, and that's going to bite him in the ass.
I just don't see winning against Aaron, who has kind of been in the middle of the whole game, has ties with everyone.
I did not go through all the shit that I've gone through in this game to not win.
Dylan and Cassie have always just felt like they're there. And they've just been kind of, and I don't know. They've been a giant enigma to me. And so that's what scares me.
I think I'm in a lot better position than people think I am. And I think that will help me out because I have a lot of votes on me, first of all. I am a cat, bro. Like, I have 9 lives. So, like, you can't lie that I haven't been, like, you can't not say I've been fighting. I think I've had a much bigger hand in a lot of the decisions than what's broadcasted because Brady's willing to go out there and, like broadcast that to the world, like, the idea that I had.
And then people kind of forget about Devin sometimes, apparently, so I feel like they wouldn't go for Devin, because why would they go for Devin then?
And it's like, that's just classic Devin. That's how he's playing this game. He's so under the radar, it's like no one even knows he's here. I mean, he could get all the way to the end that way, but he's never going to win. So, that's Devin's game.
I don't think I can win sitting next to anyone but Dylan and Cassie.
We made the strategy to not tell anyone, or to tell people that Aaron used her immunity idol. And I already having an alliance with Devin, I didn't want him to come to find out later through anybody else that Aaron still had it after she used it or whatever, and for him to lose trust in me. So I told him immediately that she did not actually use the idol.
Dylan and I have essentially been playing a very similar game this whole time by sitting back and allowing people to give us information.
So I was like thinking about the game, and I don't feel comfortable going to the final 3 without you and Cassie.
Yeah, okay.
Because like if you think about it, everyone else has been playing much like harder.
Yeah, they've been,
Like people like do crazy shit.
Yeah.
And I like started to realize like if I sit next to anyone else, they're getting all the jury votes.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
And I think that, would you agree? Like,
I think that'd be like the same thing. I would describe my game as pretty low key, which I've had to play. My strategy from the beginning is keep a few people close and then just act like a nice person and a funny person so people just don't dislike me in general.
This is me and you, solid.
Okay, yeah.
Just you and me.
No,
here.
I have you 100%.
Okay,
known.
yeah,
Like,
I have you.
There's no one else I want to go to the end with.
Okay.
Alright, come on in, guys. Sabu Sabu and Muani getting your first look at each other. Emily P and Emily B voted out at the last 2 tribal councils. First things first, I will take it back from Brady and Austin. Thank you. Oh, you're not gonna help me at all, are you? I can't even see. There we
Get
go.
Coop a girlfriend. There you go.
All right, this week, both immunities are back up for grabs, but you guys will be remerging. Sabu Sabu, you can drop your buffs and put on Muani again. All right, since both immunities will be back up for grabs this week, you guys will be competing in pairs. Here's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna give each of you a piece of paper. You will write down the person that you want to compete with. If you and that person say each other, you will compete as a pair in this challenge. We'll keep going until everybody has a pair. No talking, everyone's gonna get a piece of paper and a pencil, and you will write down the person you want. No communicating. First up, we got Austin. Who did you choose? We got Eliza. So we're gonna go over to Eliza and see who Eliza chose. And Eliza chose Will. So Austin will have to pick somebody in round 2. We will go to Will next. Who did Will choose? Will chooses Aaron, so Eliza will also go into round 2, and we move to Aaron. Upside down Brady from Aaron. No matches yet, and we move to Brady. Wow. Still no matches. There it is. Brady and Dylan paired up. All right, we'll go to Devin next. Devin also chose Will. No match there. Cassie, nobody left, but we'll still see who. Cassie chooses Aaron, and it's no match. All right, round 2, the 6 of you will choose again. All right, we're gonna start from the other end. Cassie, who was not chosen last time, went with Aaron again. Let's see if Aaron matched this time. Aaron says Cassie, and that is a match. Aaron and Cassie will be pairs for the challenge. All right, Eliza went with Will once again. Will, who was chosen by a couple people, went with Eliza, so they will be paired up. Devin and Austin. Devin said Austin. Austin said Will, but it doesn't matter. You two will be paired up. Let's get to today's immunity challenge. For today's challenge, you guys will be paired up. You will be tied at the wrists. Each of you will have a balloon attached to each of your feet. So you and your partner will each have 2 balloons together. You'll be trying to stop the other people's balloons. Once all 4 of your pairs is out, you 2 are eliminated from the challenge. The last pair with a balloon not popped will win immunity this week. We'll draw for spots and get started. All right, survivors ready, go! Everybody slowly moving. Aaron and Cassie coming towards Dylan and Brady, but not really going for their balloons. Dylan and Brady making a move towards Eliza and Will, who are shuffling towards Devin and Austin. Nobody wants to make the first move. Devin, Austin, Will, and Eliza kind of in a pack. Brady stomps one of Eliza's. Eliza and Will down to 3. Will loses a balloon. Did not tie it tightly enough. They are down to 2. Devin and Cassie going for each other. Austin stepped on his own, and Austin loses a balloon. Will and Eliza coming towards Aaron and Cassie. Cassie loses the balloon. Aaron is down a balloon. They are down to 2 total. Dylan and Brady at 4. Cassie and Aaron at 2. Will and Eliza at 2. Devin and Austin at 3. Just a lot of circling in this challenge. Cassie going for Eliza. Brady going for Devin. Dylan loses the balloon. Aaron says Devin trying to make moves on her. Cassie loses her last balloon. Cassie's still in with Aaron. Aaron down to her last balloon. Dylan and Brady going for Devin and Austin. Devin and Austin now going for Aaron's last balloon. Austin stepped out, and Austin will lose a balloon for that. Devin and Austin now down to 2. Somebody loses a balloon, can't even tell who it is. It was Eliza. Eliza loses her last balloon. She is down to 1 with Will. A lot of shuffling, a lot of circling.
Aaron lost it. Who's out? Stay in bounds. All the way to the cones.
Alright, congrats, Brady and Dylan. Come on over, grab immunity. You want the same one as last week?
Oh, yeah. I don't think it's that wide.
Brady, safe from this week's tribal council. Dylan, also possibly safe at this week's tribal council. Because here's what's gonna happen. At tribal council, you two are gonna have 2 options. You can either choose to share immunity or steal it. If you both choose to share immunity, you will both keep it this week. If you both choose to steal it, neither of you will be immune this week. If one of you chooses to steal and the other share, you will take that person's immunity and be safe at the final 7 tribal council.
And not this one or both?
Both. They will, if you choose to steal and the other person chooses to share, the person who stole it will keep their necklace for the final 8 and will steal the other person's and wear it at final 7 and be immune for that. How that will work, we'll each give you 2 rocks at tribal council. One will be black, one will be white. We'll say 3, 2, 1, reveal. One will be share, one will be steal. So you make your decision simultaneously at tribal council before we go vote. Does that make sense? All right, then that is all we have for you this week. Grab your stuff, head on out. Good night.
The biggest threat in this game just won another immunity. So yeah, that's another target on my back.
Of course, Brady and Dylan pick each other, classic bromance. I mean, they were literally like so much more powerful than the rest of us. It was kind of terrifying. But like, I think I held my own in the challenge. Like, I was definitely, you know, skadoodling all around. I was really dodging all of those attacks.
And so I assumed it could be a bit of a physical challenge. And Brady must have assumed the same thing. Because that's why we ended up writing each other's names down. We figured it'd be an easier way to win immunity if we were not going up against each other.
Right. So we're doing good this week.
Yes.
We're in an exceptional position.
We all talked right after the challenge, me and Brady and Cassie and Aaron, and we're like, oh yeah, it wouldn't be beneficial for anybody to steal. And like initially I was just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Ended up meeting with Brady the day after, and it was going well. We pretty much were just solidifying the concept that we were going to be both stay.
Like, literally, as I was like, you saved. We saved your damn thing.
I mean, hopefully, I think I can. Like, I don't think Dylan will flip on me this week. Like, I'm saving. Like,
It just would definitely not work out if Brady stole the idol, because then the second he's not immune, he's gone. Like, there's like a just even huger target on his back if he does that.
I'm not stealing or whatever it is.
Dylan, I don't think you should either, just for the same reason. Like, it makes you look like a dickwad.
But if one of them says share and one of them says steal, then the person who says steal gets to take off the other one's necklace, and now they got two necklaces, one that they'll use today and one that they'll use at the next tribal council. But if they both say steal, then their necklaces are just gone. That's it. They're both vulnerable tonight, and and there'll be no bonus necklaces for the next tribal council.
Yeah, I think we need to get Will gone this week. I feel like that'd be the best opportunity. I think it goes Will, and then Elise or Austin, then the other one next week, then Devin.
But at this point, lines have been drawn. The line has been drawn. Right here. Lafinis and Aaron, Sabu Sabus and Will. Rest in peace, Tormenta. But our two boys have immunity. I play my idol for myself. Let's say they vote for Cassie. Cassie's safe from drawing rocks. Whoever we vote for is safe from drawing rocks. 3 people draw rocks, and they're all on this side. We're all safe.
So, like, if you hear, like, oh, Brady was saying this and this, like, I promise you everything I'm telling you is, like, straight bullshit right now. Like, I might even go up to Will and be like, hey, I'm willing, like, if I get 2 safe weeks, I'm going to take it. And then I'll be like, and who do you want to vote out? Like, I fucking hate Dylan. Let's get his ass out.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, you can say that.
He goes, so I'm meeting with Will soon, and don't worry about anything you hear. I'm going to tell him that I'm going to steal your idol. Don't even worry about it. I'm just giving him stuff to stir the pot. And I'm like, oh yeah, like totally. Like, I'll just disregard anything that they say to me.
So how do you feel about the immunity? Yeah.
But if, like, we don't have numbers coming out of this week, then obviously it's going to be all for naught, and I would rather stay around another week than not, like, you know.
Brady made a fundamental mistake. I see absolutely no reason why he would ever tell anyone that he's thinking about stealing. Does it mean you're thinking about stealing?
I mean, if we don't have numbers coming out this week, it doesn't really matter. Like, at this point, I would rather stay around for 2 more weeks than just for the one.
Damn, okay, but like, I guess with him, you're just both saying that you're gonna share.
I think so. I think that's a vibe to each other. And I don't
You
know.
both trust each other? I think Brady and Dylan and Cassie are just not that good at this game, to be honest.
And I kind of thought, like, what would be the reasoning behind telling Will that he's going to steal from me anyway? There's no real reason why he would need to say that anyway if he really wasn't worried about it. But it made me realize that's how he's had so many different social connections throughout this game, is he's going to somebody and he's telling them, oh yeah, we're good, we're in an alliance, and then he jumps the gun and says, oh, I'm going to say this to them, but don't worry, I'm still with you. And then he goes to the next person's like, I said this to them, but don't worry, I'm still with you. And I'm pretty sure that's how he's been navigating this whole game. I definitely respect his game, but like, I've seen right through his manipulation this whole game, and I don't think a lot of other people have.
So after the challenge, I thought that my game was completely outed, that the line was drawn in the sand right then and there, and that it was obvious what side I was on. However, that turned out not to be true. Because I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's desperation. I don't know if it's just, I'm just super charming, which I am. But for some reason, Eliza and Devin and Will and Austin still all think that I want to work with them.
Me, Devin, Austin, and Will. But that's only 4. That's only half. And no one wants to force a tie at 8 because so many people would be like immune. So we would need to swing Aaron.
She's playing it really good. She has very strong ties with both sides. Kind of puts me in a position where I don't know what's gonna happen.
Any of us against Dylan and Brady is not going to be a fair fight. And I want, like, no matter what happens when we get down to the 5 of us together, the remnants of the Epitome, I want it to be as fair of a fight as possible.
She was rooting for Brady and Dylan to win the challenge, which kind of shows her allegiance to them. She also kind of has them all in on this idol thing, where everyone's kind of going along with Aaron and saying that she hasn't played her idol, which kind of shows that they trust her and she trusts them. She hasn't come clean about that to us, that she actually doesn't have the idol, which obviously I know via Dylan.
I actually wrote down Aaron on the first one with me, on my first pick for a partner, but because I really thought she would write me down, but of course, Aaron writes down Brady, obviously.
So I wrote down Brady's name. But I thought this was going to be anonymous. Then it wasn't, which was awful.
Why does Aaron want Brady to win this game so much? I can't stand it. Like, literally, she's just like, always has to be Brady. I mean, I guess it makes sense. Brady's also like the most fit guy here, so maybe she just wanted him to be her partner for the challenge. Like, that makes sense too.
Okay, this time I'm actually shirtless for a reason. I literally just got out of the shower. Here's my towel. I'm wrapping it back around my waist, but because I'm running late for class.
I honestly don't see Aaron working with Brady and Dylan just because I think she knows she can't beat them.
I've just been constant communication with Aaron. We just text. We're just friends at this point.
Now, I know that Emily B walking out and saying, Brady now has 3 votes for him on the jury, just trying to stir shit up from beyond the grave. It's not necessary. It's not necessarily true. I'm not buying it. You're just trying to turn us all against Brady, on your way out. Don't do that. And also, that's not true, because I'm fairly certain Ben would vote for me at the end. But, the more other people perceive Brady as a threat, the better, because then they would take him out over me.
Me and Erin have a super ultra alliance. She's basically my new Ben, is what I've called her. We got a final 2 pact, and we're just we text all day, and we're just best friends too. So it's just hey.
My long-term plan has always been Brady. That's the person I've been loyal to this whole game.
Moral of the story, make good, honest relationships so that people will tell you shit, even when no one trusts you because you're a crafty bitch and you're a huge fucking threat in this game. So,
Aaron, you are playing both sides. You hang out with them at the challenges. You basically tried to omit telling me about your meeting with Dylan. I know you're playing both sides. It's fine. You can talk to me about it. I know you're in that position. You don't have to, we can have an honest communication about this. I know you're playing both sides a little bit, and anything I can do to just work with you, I wanna be honest about.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I could tell you weren't thrilled that you didn't know about my meeting with
No,
Dylan and Brady and Cassie.
No, and it makes sense that you're going to. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean it's my thing right now is that I've kind of been hurt too many times in this game to tell 100% of the things that I do to any person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We sort of switched roles now, basically. Me and Aaron have switched roles because I feel like she's the one now who doesn't tell me everything, but yet hopefully she still doesn't want to fuck me over. And that's the key thing with Aaron. Is it's Aaron, I told you, I left so many things out that I should have told you for so long, but I never actively fucked you over. So I hope you can do the same for me now when you're leaving me in the dark.
I'm not gonna write your name down.
Thanks, I won't write down your name either. Okay. I think we have a path then.
Yeah.
We get to the end.
Agreed.
Maybe she just likes Brady and Dylan more than us.
We tried talking to Dylan to get him to steal because objectively, he would have to trust us enough for this. Objectively, his better move right now is to steal, because if he steals and he wins, he has double immunity. If he steals and he loses, we vote out Brady.
Personally, I would vote for Dylan because of that move.
Yeah, same. Dylan needs to make it.
But that's one move. Like, I don't think you can define a game on one move.
I sent a pretty heated, I don't want to say heated, very passive-aggressive text to Eliza yesterday after she was trying to sway me, and just said I respect the game that she's playing, but I don't respect the fact that they're trying to use me and blackmail me. And then I got a lot of apologies after that.
She basically threatened him, more or less, and he said, "Gotcha. I appreciate you being straight up with me. I had a meeting with Aaron, Cassie, and Brady tonight, and it went better than I expected. And I'll be straight up with you because you've been straight up with me, that I just don't see how that this will long-term be beneficial for me to fuck over Brady when you guys are just planning to pick me off next week."
Like, anytime one of us tries to reach out to them, they're kind of like, why are they reaching out to us? Like, don't they know we're not gonna, like, do anything? It's like, well, it's a Survivor. Like, we're gonna reach out to you. Sorry. Like, thanks for playing. Like,
You've already expressed to me that I'm your number 2 if you have the opportunity to get me out. No one in your 4-person alliance has ever expressed any interest in working with me, only interest in helping me to further your guys' own agenda.
it has made me seem manipulative a couple of times, which is kind of annoying because, well, I guess I am trying to manipulate things, so I guess it's not really that annoying. But, it makes me a target, I guess, which is annoying.
I totally get what you're doing. It's a smart play for the game as a whole, and I don't disrespect you for it. But you obviously don't want to work with me, and I really don't appreciate being used. You have to understand my perspective. No meanings of disrespect, but you guys are just leaving me out to dry. The only thing that you've said to try to sway me is blackmail.
But I thought it was funny that they're just trying to apologize only to make sure that they still have a jury vote if I go home. I know it's not actually real.
Because if Brady steals, right? If Brady steals and Dylan doesn't, then Brady is safe for 2 weeks. If Dylan steals and Brady doesn't, Dylan's safe for 2 weeks. Then if both of them share, they're only safe for 1 week.
Austin basically was like, if you don't steal, you're going home this week, basically.
No, like you were not going home this week.
So
unless Brady steals yours,
yeah,
then it's like I can't speak on behalf of everyone else, but that's what I imagine they would do, and then I'd probably have to follow along with that.
Yeah, no, I'd get that.
And I'm like, dude, we all want you to steal. This is the smart thing to do, especially because the perception is you're kind of just there. This would be something that would help you look good for the jury.
And I was just asking him about who he feels comfortable working with, who he'd feel comfortable working with next week, and he never mentioned any single one of us, which is just what was just obvious. He didn't have anything to say. It's like who are you probably like closest to then at this point? Like who would you be willing to work with next week?
Probably Devin, Eliza, and Will.
Okay.
Are the ones I've just worked with the most.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel comfortable working with Will and Devin and Eliza. I'm pretty good with that. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, cool.
Final Four, baby.
Yes.
Final Four, baby? Wait, should we have an alliance name?
Final Four,
Is it called Final Four, baby?
That's it. Final Four, baby?
No. We should do
Top 4, baby.
I was invited into a Final Four with Eliza, Devin, and Will. Very exciting.
So what do you think about Cassie? I would be down to vote Cassie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think that I would rather go for, like I was telling Will before you guys got here, like I think we should get Brady's.
So
I mean, if one of them steals, I'm down to switch it off Cassie.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
which would you would you prefer Cassie this week, or if one of them steals, do you what do you prefer?
I would prefer Brady, just because I know that he's like basically the number 1 threat to win the game for some godforsaken reason.
Very much people that I wouldn't mind going to the Final Four with. However, I've pledged loyalty to Brady.
And she's just like, yeah, so like, Eliza, Devin, and Will came up to me and we created this powerful alliance. Our main goal is to get you out. That's so funny. And I was like, hey, like, one of them is gone this week, and hopefully next week, and the next week, and the next week, and the next week. So, I mean, it's kind of funny at this point. Because, like, they just have no idea. And she's just like, yeah, they're gonna all vote Cassie, and their goal is if you don't win immunity to get you out. I'm just like, that's funny.
Yeah, I think that the conversation went really well. I think she really is genuinely on board with us. I mean, she likes everyone. Like, honestly, like, those people on the other side have probably fucked her over less than we have. So, like, she probably would prefer to work with them. But I think she understands that she has a better chance at winning going with us.
I do think her relationship with Will is pretty good. So hopefully, hopefully like that makes her want to join our side. But I know they have like a rocky thing with Ben's emails and stuff, with Ben's email.
I mean, number one priority is Brady. So, you know, if Dylan steals, period, then we're voting Brady out. If Brady steals and Dylan shares, then we're voting Dylan out. If they both steal, we're voting Brady out. Yeah. And if they're both safe, we're going to vote out Cassie. So basically, whoever is available among them, number one priority is Brady, number two priority is Dylan, number three priority is Cassie.
Our plan is to get out Cassie.
I'm going to work in with the other four, see who they're voting for, so I know who to play my idol on, to make sure that we're all fine. The four of us, me and the Tafidis.
Well, it's official. It is winter in Ann Arbor.
If you steal, then you save Cassie, because then we all vote Brady.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just saw this plan where Dylan essentially steals from Brady. Dylan's incentive for this is essentially he'll be saving Cassie this week. Basically, what we ended at was Aaron's like with us.
Oh, really? Aaron was going to either play her immunity idol for herself or Cassie, and then basically that meant that there was no way that we could lose anyone in our four-person alliance this week. Aaron said before she met with you guys, she's like, they're definitely going to pitch shit to me, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
I'm just going to roll with it.
Oh no! She said that to you?
Yeah, she said that to all of us. So, and then right afterwards, she's like, yeah, they all want to vote out Cassie, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I'm just going to play my idol for Cassie, and then they're all fucked.
Aaron's like literally playing both sides and telling each like the other people that she's with them, and then with I guess the opposite to us. So we don't know what Aaron's gonna do. She could be like
she's either fucking with us or she's fucking with you guys.
The problem is that she paid for our whole meal, so I don't know if that's like I don't know if she's like if that was like a sign of trust or whether she just wants us like to like if we're on the jury, like if she wants votes.
Yeah.
If Brady also steals, none of them get it. And Brady is the bigger target, and Brady is going home.
But we want Brady gone soon.
As soon as possible.
So at this point, like I'm tired of him just manipulating people, and I would just, even if it kind of fucks me over, I'd like to be able to, I can deal with that, at least if I'm here. And if he's not here, it's gonna be a lot easier to talk to people without him sneaking around with all these relationships.
But yeah, I'm not stealing, Dylan's not stealing. Hopefully, that's at least the plan. It should be best for everyone. Unless Dylan and Cassie are secretly plotting to get me out, which I don't think they are because they need me just as much as I need them.
I want a big move. I don't want to be sitting dormant. And I think a lot of people think that's probably what I'm doing, but everything you do has to be calculated. You can't just be the number one person always spitting things out in the forefront.
Because at the end of the day, this game is not about who plays the hardest. It's about who knows the most information and can essentially utilize that information for their own game.
But I think that nobody thinks I made significant moves. They think I've been going with the flow, which I really have been. I've been letting Brady take control, be the leader of the group, which is why he's kind of on the chopping block at this point. That easily could have been me if I played a different game, but I haven't. So once I make a few moves this week, I think people are going to respect my game a little bit more, and if I can just navigate the right social situations, I think I have a good chance of winning if I make it to Final Tribal.
If the steal share thing doesn't go as planned, I'm gonna have to make some on the spot decisions. Or if I wanted to just vote with the Sabu Sabus and Will, because no matter what, I'm not going to Rocks. And that's something that I've said, and that's something I'm going to continue saying.
Watching somebody realize that they are going to get voted out today and then scramble to try to stay alive is like one of the saddest and most terrifying and scary things to ever watch happen. Like, it's literally like you're a rat inside of a cage that's like filling up with water, and you're like scrambling around, like trying to gnaw your way out of the roof.
I feel like it's either gonna go my way tonight or it's gonna really not go my way.
Like, Lisa's been showing everyone your text since the beginning of the game. Austin, you're on the bottom.
Like, they could just be like using Aaron to find out who we're voting for and then playing the idol on that person.
The reason I want Eliza out is because the people on that side trust her more than they trust me. Every single one of them.
Just scrambling, and then they drown. Then the water goes over, and then it's just quiet. And then it's just quiet. And then you're just sitting at Pizza House, having some milkshakes, having a pleasant conversation with some allies, and those old ones are just gone. It's really kind of fucked up.
Alright, now we'll bring in the members of our jury. Ben, Emily P, and Emily B voted out at the last tribal council. Where'd you go? Looking very fashionable today. Alright, Brady and Dylan, before we get to it, I'll ask each of you a question. Brady, how do you feel going into this share and steal situation?
It feels great having this around my neck, but also just add a whole new level of stress for this week, which kind of sucked. So.
Dylan, do you guys talk about it all this week? Is there a consensus on what the two of you are going to do?
There's been a lot of talk this week, but I think there is, yeah.
All right, then we will get right to it. All right, here's how it's going to work. You each have one rock. You will have that in one hand, an empty fist. If you flip over the rock, you are choosing to steal. If you flip over an empty fist, you are choosing to share. Does that make sense? All right. I'll say 3, 2, 1, reveal, and on reveal, you guys will
look straight ahead. Don't
open
look at what the other person
one
does.
of your hands. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, reveal. Brady chooses to share. Dylan holds out a rock and will take Brady's necklace. You can take it off right now, hand it to Dylan. It will be his next week. I guess we'll start with that then, Brady. How do you feel that you are no longer safe?
That sucks. That is not an advantage.
Was that expected at all, or did you guys talk about both sharing this week?
I thought we were good on sharing, but really not. So.
Dylan, what happened?
Some good blackmail, I guess I should say.
All right, fair enough. Was anybody else surprised by that decision? Everybody else. So nobody besides Dylan knew what was happening there.
Damn, Dylan.
Will, any reaction to Brady now being not immune and Dylan being immune next week?
I mean, it must have been a really hard decision. Like, Dylan feels very threatened right now, and I absolutely respect that he wants to go to Final Six, with 100% certainty, and you can't blame him for that.
Brady, does that worry you at all for this tribal council, going in thinking you were going to be safe, and now being here and you're not?
Oh, absolutely. And I know I have a huge target on my back, so it kind of sucks.
So Dylan, you and Brady were the only two paired up in the first round of picking partners, and you now choose to steal from Brady.
That was, nobody figured that the stealing whole situation was going to go down. I know, we didn't, so it's not something that I personally wanted to do to Brady, but it was the only thing to guarantee that it was the only 100% certainty that would keep me in the game for next week.
I respect the move you made. I think it really sucks, but I respect the move.
I get it, but fuck you.
Aaron, do you feel like you're in the middle this week at all? Or not really?
I've been right in the middle of this whole game, Cooper, and But like it's just like Elisa said, I trust the people that I trust, and I trust the people that I've been working with. And I think that there were a lot of plans made this week and a lot of contingency plans, and I think that as long as everyone sticks to those plans, then everything's gonna be okay.
Stick to the plan.
Well, a very cryptic message from Aaron there, saying stick to the plan.
Aaron is saying to stick to the plan. Yeah. So, stick to the plan. Yes.
All right, then I hope everybody knows what the plan is, because it's time to vote. And Dylan, you are up first.
This works. This is gonna be amazing.
I almost wrote down my own name.
It's happened before.
Dylan, I don't know why you did that. I really don't. But as long as we all stick to the plan, like I said, everything will be fine.
Wow. Well, if this works, Jesus, I gotta give props to Austin, man. I didn't think you could do this, and you did it.
Alright, if anyone has a hidden immunity item and would like to play it, now would be the time to do so.
Hi.
Hello?
So, can I say something?
Absolutely.
So, first, I want to preface this by saying I love you all. I love every person in this game. Like, as a human being, the friendships that I've made are real. There's been a select few people that have never really wronged me, never turned their back on me, and those are the people that I'm going to continue my loyalty with. So, Cooper, I'd like to do this.
This is a hidden immunity idol. All votes cast against Brady will not count. Once the votes are read, the decision is final. The person voted out will be asked to leave the tribal council area immediately. I'll read the votes. First vote, Brady does not count. Brady does not count. Brady does not count. Brady does not count. So no votes anybody, 4 votes left. Eliza. Eliza. 11th person voted out and the 4th member of the jury. Eliza, tonight that's enough. Eliza, the tribe has spoken. Time for you to go. Well, it looked like for 4 of you at least, the plan worked out. The other 3, not so much. Grab your stuff, head on out. Good night. Next week on Survivor Michigan.
Not at all right.
Well, Austin was very mad after tribal.
Our whole game has been blown up.
Aaron is essentially 100% with them.
Yep.
And 100% without us. She controls the game.
It's been a lot of fun. I'm kind of pissed at Erin because, I don't know, she really led us on. I don't know why she chose to do all of that. I'm really hoping for, I think I want Will to win. I'm hoping Will wins, but I hope Devin and Austin really get a pull through this week. This sucks, but I've had a blast, and I guess I'll see it from the jury.
Wow, that was something.